Hello, grade 8. Today's lesson is a poetry one, in which we are going to discuss the poem Leisure, written by William Henry Davis. Let's start by reading the whole poem, then we are going to discuss each and every stanza on its own. Leisure. What is this life, if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like skies at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. A poor life this, if full of care. We have no time to stand and stare. The first stanza. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. Of course, you know the meaning of the word stare is to look at something for a long time. We have the word beneath, which means down, and boughs are the branches of the trees. In the first stanza, the poet asks a question, which is, what good is life if it's full of worries and if we don't have enough time to simply stop and look at the interesting things around us? He continues, life is not complete if we cannot stand under a tree like a cow or a sheep and look for a long time at the beauty of nature. We have some figures of speech in the first stanza. The first one is an alliteration, which is very clear in we have no time to stand and stare. The sound sa is repeated at the beginning of the words stand and stare. We have another alliteration, which was clear in no time to stand beneath the boughs. The sound b is repeated at the beginning of beneath and boughs. The second stanza. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hid their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight, streams full of stars like skies at night. Of course, you know the meaning of the words of the word woods, which mean forests, and we have the word squirrels, which are some animals, small animals that live among the trees, and we have the word streams, which means small rivers. In the second stanza, the poet gives some examples of what we could stare at if we had enough time. What good is life if we cannot stop and see when squirrels hid their food in the grass and trees? Life will be dull if we cannot see the streams which in the sunlight sparkle and look like the night sky that is full of shining stars. The poet is giving these examples to get the reader to appreciate the beautiful nature that is all around us. We have some figures of speech in the second stanza also. The first one is alliteration, which was very clear in the verse, no time to see when woods we pass. The sound w is repeated at the beginning of when and woods. We have another alliteration in the verse, streams full of stars like skies at night. The sound s is repeated at the beginning of streams, stars, and skies. We have a simile, streams full of stars like skies at night. The sparkling streams are compared to the shining skies using the word like. We have a contrast in no time to see in broad daylight and streams full of stars like skies at night. The words daylight and night are opposites. We have a repetition No time to see when woods we pass. No time to see in broad daylight. The phrase no time to see is repeated twice. The third stanza. No time to turn at beauty's glance, and watch her feet, how they can dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. A poor life this earth, full of care, and we have no time to stand and stare. The word turn at means to observe or to look at something. Enrich means to make something more enjoyable. In this stanza, the poet wants to have the time to look at the beautiful things on the earth. The beautiful nature is compared to a dancer. The poet wishes he could have enough time to look at the dancer's feet and at her smile that begins in her eyes and completes on her mouth. The poet thinks that our lives would be sad, dull, and full of sorrow unless we have enough time to enjoy the beauty of nature. Here are the figures of speech in the third stanza. The first one is a personification. And watch her feet, how they can dance, no time to wait till her mouth can, and enrich that smile her eyes began. The poet here personifies nature as a beautiful and graceful girl who dances and smiles. We have an alliteration. No time to turn at beauty's glance. The sound t is repeated at the beginning of time and turn. We have another alliteration. No time to wait till her mouth can. The sound t is repeated at the beginning of time, to, until. We have a third alliteration. We have no time to stand and stare. The sound s is repeated at the beginning of stand and stare. Here is the main theme. Man has so many worries and tensions in life that we don't have time to appreciate simple things of nature made by God. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A A B B C C D D E E F F and A A. Thank you very much.